Chapter 1. The Beginning. Gotham. Childhood. Pain. I am the Joker, and already you think you know me. You think I'm the man with the painted face and the purple suit who laughs when buildings burn. You think I'm chaos incarnate, the clown prince, the agent of anarchy. Maybe I am. But tonight, I am tired. And when a man is tired, truly tired, the kind of tired that sits in the marrow of your bones and whispers that this might be the last night, he stops performing, he stops laughing, and he tells the truth. Or at least, a version of it. Because the truth and I have never been on speaking terms. I've told so many stories about who I was before all this, that even I can't remember which one is real. Sometimes I was a failed comedian with a pregnant wife and a dream that died in a chemical plant. Sometimes I was a boy who smiled too much and was beaten for it. Sometimes I was nobody at all. If I'm going to have a past, I prefer it to be multiple choice. But tonight I'll pick one. Not because it's true, but because it's the one that hurts the most. And the things that hurt the most are usually the closest to the truth. So, let me begin. I was born in Gotham City. That at least is certain. Because Gotham doesn't just produce people. It produces conditions. It produces the kind of poverty that isn't about money. It's about hope. The absence of it. The total, suffocating certainty that tomorrow will be exactly like today, and the day after that, and the day after that, until one day there is no day after that, and nobody notices. I grew up in an apartment that smelled like cigarette smoke and regret. My mother was kind in the way that broken people are kind, desperately, inconsistently, and with the faint scent of medication. My father, or the man who called himself that, had hands that could have built things. Instead, they tore things apart. Mostly me. The smile, survival, comedy, silence. He used to say, "Why so serious?" Not as a joke, as a threat. If I cried when he hit me, he hit harder. If I flinched, he noticed. The only safe response was to smile, to take the pain and bend it into something that looked like joy. I learned very young that a smile is the most effective lie a human face can tell. School was not an escape. It was a different kind of cage. I was the strange kid, the one who laughed at things that weren't funny and didn't laugh at things that were. The one who saw patterns where others saw chaos, and chaos where others saw patterns. The teachers didn't know what to do with me. The other children knew exactly what to do with me. Avoid me, mock me, forget me. I wanted to make them laugh. That was the first honest desire I can remember having. Not to hurt them, not to scare them, just to make them laugh. Because laughter, real laughter, is the only moment when a human being is completely unguarded. It is the closest thing we have to truth. So I became funny. I learned timing. I learned misdirection. I learned that the best jokes aren't about the punchline. They're about the pause before it. The silence where the audience realizes what's coming and can't stop it. Comedy, I discovered, is just tragedy standing on its head. I tried to make it a career. I stood on stages in the worst clubs in Gotham, the kind of places where the floor is sticky and the audience is stickier. And I tried to make strangers laugh. I poured everything I had into it. Every wound, every humiliation, Every sleepless night spent rehearsing in the mirror, trying to find the angle that would make pain funny. They didn't laugh. Not once. Not ever. Not at a single thing I said. Do you know what silence sounds like when you're standing on a stage with a microphone and your heart in your hand? It sounds like confirmation. It sounds like the universe saying, "You were right to be afraid. You are exactly as worthless as you suspected."
Chapter 3. The Wife. Love, Loss, the Red Hood. I had a wife. I don't talk about her often, not because I've forgotten, but because some memories are too clean to touch with dirty hands. And my hands have been dirty for a very long time. Her name was... well, it doesn't matter what her name was. What matters is that she laughed at my jokes. All of them. Even the bad ones. Especially the bad ones. She had this way of looking at me like I was a person. Not a problem to be solved or a diagnosis to be treated, but a person. A flawed, strange, struggling person who was trying his best. She was pregnant when she died. I won't tell you how. Not because it's too painful, but because every time I remember it, the details change. Sometimes it was an accident. Sometimes it was a random act of violence, the kind that Gotham produces like a factory produces widgets. Sometimes it was my fault. That's the version I believe most often, because guilt is the most loyal companion I've ever had. After she died, I had nothing. No career, no family, no purpose, no audience. Just a man in a city that chews up good people and spits out whatever's left. And then they came to me. The men with the plan. They said, "We need someone to wear this hood, the Red Hood. Walk into this chemical plant with us. Help us rob it. One night's work, and you'll have enough money to start over." I should have said no. I said yes. Because when you have nothing, the word no loses all its power. What are you protecting? What are you risking? Nothing. You are risking nothing. And nothing is exactly what I had. The heist went wrong. Of course it went wrong. Everything in Gotham goes wrong. That is not a complaint. That is physics. He showed up. The one they call Batman. The Dark Knight. The man who dresses like a bat and calls himself Justice. I ran. He followed. I reached the edge of a catwalk above a vat of chemicals, the kind of industrial waste that Gotham pretends doesn't exist. And I had a choice. Surrender or jump. I jumped. Chapter 4. The Vat. Transformation. The new face. The chemicals did not kill me. I wish they had. That would have been clean. A man dies in a vat of acid. End of story. But Gotham doesn't do clean endings. Gotham does transformations. The acid bleached my skin white, turned my hair green, stretched my lips into a permanent grin, the kind of smile I'd spent my childhood learning to fake, now carved into my flesh forever. I looked in a mirror, and the face that looked back was not a man. It was a joke. And something inside me, the part that had been holding on, the part that still believed in order and meaning and the possibility that things could get better, that part snapped. Not broke. Snapped, like a rubber band pulled too far. The tension doesn't slowly release. It breaks all at once, and what's left is limp,
and useless and free. I laughed, not because it was funny, because it wasn't funny. And that was the funniest thing of all. A man who wanted to make people laugh, destroyed by chemicals and grief, and a city that never cared about him. And the result was a face frozen in permanent laughter. The universe had finally told a joke, and I was the punchline. So I decided to become the joke. Not fight it, not resist it, become it. If the world was going to treat me like a punchline, I would become the funniest thing it had ever seen. And the funniest things I had learned are the ones that hurt the most. I chose the name myself, the Joker, not because I was playful, but because in every deck of cards, the Joker is the card that doesn't belong. It has no suit, no number, no rank. It exists outside the system, and the only way to use it is to change the rules of the game entirely. That is what I became, the card that changes the rules.
Chapter 5. Gotham, the city, the lie, the truth. Let me tell you about Gotham. People think I hate Gotham. I don't. I love Gotham. I love it the way a surgeon loves a body on the operating table. Not for what it is, but for what it reveals when you cut it open. Gotham is a city built on the lie that order is natural, that rules keep people safe, that if you follow the law, pay your taxes, go to work, smile at your neighbors, and vote for the right candidate, everything will be fine. It won't. I have seen the pillars of this city, the judges, the politicians, the billionaires, the police commissioners, and I have seen what they do when no one is watching. The same things I do. The only difference is that I do them with honesty. I wear my madness on the outside. They hide theirs behind suits and titles and charity galas. That is the joke. That is the joke nobody laughs at. The most dangerous people in Gotham aren't in Arkham Asylum. They're in City Hall. The people of Gotham fascinate me. They are so desperate for order that they will accept a man who dresses as a bat as their protector. Think about that. A billionaire who puts on a costume and beats criminals with his fists. And they call him a hero. But a man who puts on face paint and exposes the truth, and they call him a monster. We are the same, Batman and I. Two men who experienced trauma and chose costumes as their response. The only difference is that his trauma made him want to save the world, and mine made me want to show the world that it doesn't want to be saved. He thinks I'm his opposite. I'm not. I'm his mirror, and mirrors don't lie. They just show you the thing you were trying not to see. Chapter 6. Batman, the mirror, the rescue, the hate. Let me tell you about him, about Batman, about Bruce. Yes, I know his name. I've always known. Do you think a man as obsessive as I am wouldn't figure it out? It wasn't even difficult. The jaw, the resources, the rage that seeps through the cowl like blood through a bandage. Bruce Wayne is Batman. Everyone knows. They just pretend they don't, because the pretending is part of the game. But I never told anyone. I never exposed him. Do you know why? Because if Batman is just Bruce Wayne, a rich orphan with anger issues and too much free time, then our entire relationship becomes ordinary. A billionaire fighting a clown. That's not epic. That's pathetic. But Batman, the symbol, the idea,
The Dark Knight, fighting the Joker, the agent of chaos, the mirror of madness. That's mythology. That's a story worth telling. And I am, above all things, a man who understands the value of a good story. He saved me once, from a building I had set on fire. He could have let me burn. No one would have blamed him. The world would have thanked him. But he didn't. He pulled me out. And when I asked him why, he said something I have never forgotten. He said, "Because that's not what I do." And I looked at him, this man in a mask, covered in soot, holding the man who had caused him more pain than any other living being. And I thought, he actually believes it. He actually believes that saving people is worth the cost, that mercy is stronger than justice, that hope is not just a word you say to children to get them to stop crying. I hated him for that, and I loved him for it, and I have spent every day since trying to prove him wrong. I haven't yet.
Chapter 7. Harley. The gravity, the damage, the exit. They ask me about Harley. They always ask about Harley, as if she's a chapter in my story. She's not. She's her own story. The story I walked into and damaged and walked out of, the way storms walk through cities. You don't ask the hurricane about the house it destroyed. You ask the house. But since you're asking me, I'll say this. She was the only person, after my wife, who looked at me and didn't see a monster. She saw a project, a broken thing she could fix. And there is nothing more dangerous than a brilliant woman with a savior complex and a medical degree. Did I love her? I don't know if I'm capable of love. Not anymore. Not after the chemicals. Not after everything. Love requires vulnerability, and I replaced my vulnerability with jokes a long time ago. But I felt something for her that I didn't feel for anyone else. A gravity, a pull, the sense that when she was in the room had a center. I hurt her, consistently, deliberately, and without the excuse of ignorance. I knew what I was doing. I knew what it cost her. And I did it anyway, because that is what broken people do. They break the people who love them, not because they want to, but because closeness feels like danger, and danger activates the only response they know, destruction. She left me, eventually. She should have left sooner. The fact that she stayed as long as she did is not a testament to her love. It is an indictment of mine. If you see her, tell her I said something clever. She'll know I mean I'm sorry. Chapter 8. Why? The question nobody wants answered. There is a question that people have been asking since I first put on the face paint, and I have never given a straight answer. So tonight, because I'm tired, and because tired men tell the truth, I'll try. Why? Why the chaos? Why the violence? Why the elaborate schemes, and the laughing gas, and the playing cards, and the jokes that end with someone bleeding? Why not just live quietly, take the medication, sit in a room in Arkham and stare at the wall until the wall stares back? Because I tried that. I tried being good. I tried being normal. I tried being the man society wanted me to be, employed, medicated, smiling, compliant. I paid my rent. I took care of my mother. I went to therapy. I swallowed my pills. And the world didn't notice. It didn't care.
It didn't even look at me. But the moment I put on the paint, the moment I stopped asking for permission to exist, the entire city turned around and looked at me. Fear is the only language this city speaks fluently. Kindness is a dialect it has forgotten. And I am fluent in fear. I don't expect you to agree with me. I don't even expect you to understand. But I want you to sit with the discomfort of the question for a moment. What does it say about a society that ignores a man when he's crying for help, but pays attention the moment he picks up a weapon? That is the joke. That has always been the joke, and nobody laughs. Chapter 9. The End. Old Age. One Bad Day. Good night, Gotham. I am old now. Not in the way that normal people are old, with grandchildren and retirement funds and a favorite chair by the window. Old in the way that wars are old. Old in the way that scars are old. Old in the way that a joke that's been told too many times is old. It still has the structure of humor, but the laughter is drained out of it, and all that's left is the shape. My hands shake. My paint doesn't sit right on the creases anymore. My smile, the real one, the chemical one, the one I didn't choose, hurts in the morning. But there is one thing I know, one thing I am certain of after a lifetime of uncertainty. I was a person before the paint, before the acid, before the name. I was a man who wanted to be loved, and who wanted to make people laugh, and who lost everything and turned the loss into a performance that lasted a lifetime. Every villain is a hero in their own story. But I'm not going to tell you I was a hero. I wasn't. I made choices. Terrible, deliberate, unforgivable choices. And I made them with my eyes open. But I want you to understand something. Something that the doctors and the judges and the newspapers and the Batman never understood. I was not born this way. All it takes is one bad day. I've had quite a few. That's the joke. And if you're laughing right now, if some part of you deep down felt something while listening to this, then congratulations. You understood the punchline. I am the Joker, and that is my story. Or at least, one version of it. Good night, Gotham.